Hey everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name's Hannah and I like to ramble on about books. Today we are going to be doing my June reading wrap up. So these are all the books I finished in the month of June. I did have a TBR set of 5 books. I was able to complete 3 and I started a 4th one. I just didn't end up finishing it in the month of June. Leave Me Behind by K.M. Moranova was the book I did not get to this month. I'm not gonna put it on July's TBR. I'm just gonna put it back in the cart and we'll try pulling it again at a later time. Just not quite in the mood for that book yet. At the end of the day, I'm a mood reader, so I like to set TBRs, but it's more of a hopeful. If I get to it, great. If not, I probably just wasn't in the mood or I didn't have time. This month we had quite a bit of things going on. There was some personal stuff that happened, so that kind of interfered with my reading schedule. And then we are in the middle of renovating my reading room. We've made some pretty decent progress, but we ran into some hiccups along the way, so it's taking a little longer than expected. So that also kind of interfered with reading time. But anyway, let's just go ahead and jump into everything I did get to in the month of June. First up, we have Powerful by Lauren Roberts. This is just a novella in the Powerless trilogy. And I did not expect much from this book. I ended up loving this. We follow Adina, who's a side character in Powerless, and we just get her little story while Peyton is off in the trials. And this was so beautiful. I know a lot of people don't rate novellas. I do, because I feel like a good storyteller can tell a lot no matter how many pages they have to do it. And Lauren did an amazing job. I gave this 5 stars. Like, I was so enraptured by the story. It made me a little sad at the end. If you read Powerless, you kind of know what's going to happen at the end, but even though I knew it was going to happen, it was even more impactful because of the more of her story that we got. So I love this. 5 stars. Highly recommend it. I am planning on finishing the Powerless trilogy. Just don't really have a timeline of when I want to do that. I know Reckless was kind of a divisive book, kind of more labeled as a filler book. Having Fearless already kind of at least gives me something to work towards. And then she did just announce that she's going to be coming out with another novella called Fearful, so I'm kind of excited about that. We'll see what the rest of the series has to offer. The second book I finished in the month of June was Enchanter by Kaylee Smith. I loved this. This was 4.5 stars, really close to 5 stars, like so close, but just, you know when you have that 5-star feeling? It's just a feeling. So close, but not quite there. But anyway, it's amazing. We have Genevieve, Ophelia's sister from Phantasma, is going off to Italy. She's still trying to kind of dig into her mother's history because she kind of left a lot of unanswered questions after her death. And she ends up at this estate and accidentally ends up in this game where you basically are hunted, which sounds super fun. So in order to try to survive this game, she ends up in an arranged marriage with Rowan, who is amazing. Loved him so much. He's one of my new book boyfriends. I can't wait for more in the series because the way this ends, you absolutely know we're gonna get more books. I think we're probably going to be following the other siblings in the Silver family. Yeah, Silver. Super excited. Love this. Highly recommend this. If you love Phantasma, you're gonna love this too. I think I rated them both the same at this point. I can't really pick a favorite. They're both amazing. Third book I read in the month of June was Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. This was not on the TBR, but these are a series of graphic novels, so they're pretty quick reads. The artwork is stunning in these. Like, it's just beautiful. And it's all Greek mythology, Hades and Persephone retelling kind of story. Love it. This was volume 5. I'm probably gonna order the next one shortly because I can't get enough of this. I think there's 8 or 9 volumes out now. So I'm hoping to get caught up / finish this series this year. It's definitely probably gonna happen with how fast I'm devouring these. I don't think I told you what my rating was. I gave this 4.5 stars. It was amazing. These are all like 4 to 5 star graphic novels for me. The fourth book I read in the month of June was Anathema by Carrie Lake. I listened to the audio version of this on Audible. It's a duet narration and it is perfection. We are following a character, Maveth, and then we're also following a character, Zavander. This is a very dark gothic fantasy type of novel. It's absolutely one of those fantasies where she just kind of throws you into the world and you just figure things out as you go. At first, like there's a bunch of things that are happening and you have no clue really what any of it means. As you go on throughout the series, you start to learn things. So there's not like just a bunch of info dumping in the front of the book. You just kind of learn as you go, which I really enjoyed. Maybeth is this character in this small little village, very religious. She was just left at the gates of this village as an orphan, and there was a family that ended up taking her in, but because she was this orphan, she's kind of been like the stigma of society. No one, not trusts her, but they kind of feel like she's cursed in a way. So people try to avoid her. It was really her grandfather that took her in, and now he is gone, so her mother, if you will, is in charge, and she's awful. She has a sister who's super nice, obviously not a blood sister, but they get along so well, they're so close. Things transpire and she ends up in this fantasy world. She finds out that she is one of the, I think, only descendants of this race of people, and just more fun fantasy elements. I really enjoyed this. I gave this 4 stars. The only reason it's not like a 4.5 or a 5 star is the ending. There's something that happens at the end. It's just like, this happens and then the end. And I'm like, what just happened? What do you mean that's the end? Honestly, I thought this was standalone because most Carrie Lake books are standalone. Come to find out, this is a duology. I'm pretty sure the sequel comes out later this year in like September or October. So I will be reading that when that comes out because I need to know how this ends. Very, very excited to finish this, but highly recommend, especially if you really like that gothic fantasy kind of vibe. The next book I finished in the month of June was The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. This one I gave 3.5 stars. I did like this. I like the way this thriller was set up because it's one of those, you learn little twists as you go, so the story just slowly develops as you go through. This one's about a couple. They go to a dinner party next door. Their babysitter, unfortunately, something happened. She couldn't make it. So they're like, we'll still go. We'll just take the baby monitor with us and we'll check on the baby every 30 minutes. So they do that. Everything's going fine. They end up going home. And when they get home, the front door's cracked open. They go inside and their baby's gone. So we're just kind of unraveling the mystery of what happened to their baby, trying to find their baby, and just chaos ensues. This was leading up to be a 4-star, and then there was an extra twist or thing that happened in the ending that I just was kind of lackluster to me. I didn't really think it was necessary, and I thought it was kind of pointless. I guess I get why she did it, but I wasn't the biggest fan of that decision. If she had just ended it before that happened, or if she took that in a different route, it probably would have been a 4-star. But really quick thriller. I listened to the audio, it was really good. I do recommend it if you're looking for a quick, easy mystery thriller. The next book I read in the month of June was not on my TBR because I forgot that it came out in June, and that is Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. This is the sequel to Lights Out, which I love that book. I think I gave it like 4 or 4.5 stars. Amazing dark romance, but like a rom-com in the same way. I was able to pick up, they still have the Barnes exclusive versions when I went to my nearest Barnes, so grab that. With doing all the renovations, I actually ended up listening to the audio though, because it's kind of hard to read a physical book when you're painting and doing all this stuff. So I went through a lot of audiobooks at the end of the month. I liked this. I gave it 3.5 stars. Honestly, it was a little disappointing. This book explores more kinks, which is not, I don't have a problem with it. I like it. There's like voyeurism and stuff like that. Very interesting. But I just didn't really feel a ton of chemistry between our love interests. When you're comparing it to Josh and Allie's story was a million times better. I still enjoyed the story that was going on. We're following Junior, who's also known as Nico, and it's a second chance romance. So he's trying to have another chance with his high school love, which is beautiful. I just didn't really feel the chemistry. I feel like also with second chance romance, you have some bitterness because obviously that relationship ended, so someone's not happy, or both parties are not happy about something. So you have to get over that. And I just feel like we kept circling back to, oh, I can't trust him, blah, 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 blah. And it just kind of got a little annoying. We did get bits of Josh and Allie, and I was so excited. I loved those little bits, and I just want them to have another book. I do recommend this, especially if you want to continue this series. I'm assuming she's going to have more books in this series. Not entirely sure. I need to see Josh and Allie's wedding. That's what I need to see. That's what I could read an entire book of just that and chaos, even if she just wants to make it a novella. Please, I need it. But anyway, 3.5 stars for Caught Up by Nivessa Allen. The last book I read in the month of June, when I went on my Barnes trip, if you saw my little short of my haul, I was hunting for this book, but just if they had their exclusive edition, because it's beautiful. And they didn't have it, so I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna read it right away. I don't need to buy the regular copy. We'll just wait and see. And then doing these renovations, finishing all these audiobooks, I need another audiobook. Logged into Spotify and found out this book was on Spotify, and it's under 15 hours, so I could finish it and not worry about running out of hours. So I did, and that was The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I love this. This was 4 stars. We're following these diviners, who are these 6 women. They aren't known by their names, they're just known by a number. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we are following 6. They have this power to basically have visions, to tell you if you have good omens, bad omens, and what that means for you. We have the king comes to, I don't want to say get his fortune told, but basically he wants a divination done so he can see if the omens are leaning in his favor. He's a relatively new king. He's very young. So 6 ends up being his diviner. After this happens, the diviners start disappearing one by one until we're just down to 6. She ends up trying to escape, and one of the knights that had come for the king, when the king had his, I don't know what to call it. I can't remember what they call it. I don't want to say divination, but basically that. He ends up helping her escape. The thing I love the most, which is gonna sound ridiculous, is there's a gargoyle in this that goes with her and follows her around, and he just calls everyone Bartholomew, and it's hilarious. He is like the comedic relief most of the time. I really did enjoy this. I loved the Shepherd King duology by Rachel. That one I liked way more than this one. This one's still very good. I gave this 4 stars, but doesn't quite meet up to the standard I have for the Shepherd King duology. But I am excited for the next book because she ended this with a major plot twist to the point where I had to like rewind the audiobook, go back and be like, did I just hear that right? Like, was I just not paying attention? What is happening right now? That was awesome. Obviously, I ended up getting the exclusive edition. I just ordered it online because I was like, I love this. I have to have this in my collection, and it is stunning. It's got beautiful end pages. The foiling on it is like that beautiful blue. It's gorgeous, and I am so happy I was able to get a copy. But anyway, those are all the books I read in the month of June. Audiobooks were definitely my savior this month because of everything we had going on. So I was able to still get a decent number of books read. Just my TBR suffered a teeny bit just because I couldn't read as many physicals as I wanted to, but hopefully July is a little bit better. I feel like there's still some things from June that are going to roll into July, so we'll see. I set a very ambitious TBR for that month that I'm a little afraid of too, so I guess we'll find out what happens. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!